classes and said, I got to sit ringside to see this guy.
Let's bring the sister behind. Sister and brother.
Get that form from the doctor.
Hey, both of my shit.
We'll get you right back to sports.
And Shakur Stevenson, honestly, he's one of the, like, I don't watch boxing too much, you know, but I actually watch him, bro. He's such a fucking great technician in the ring. You know, he's a great southpaw. His range, the way he holds distance, it's for someone like me.
Stay at 30 to claim everything. Yeah. You guys are going too ahead. You know, let him do his thing. Let him. He knows what he's doing. He's got a great support team, man. He got Jay Prince. Lopez, start making the performance that you wanted to see from him. I'm gotta have it. Good job. Hey,
Yeah.
See, hopefully I get a phone call in the next day or two.
Yeah.
For some reason, I did see yesterday that Oscar Del Hoya don't want Schofield to fight. So
if they got something to say about it, hey, it is what it is, you know. So whenever those fights happen, we'll see what the reactions will be in those fights, you know. So if they see flaw in this performance, you know what I mean. The guy was actually tougher than what a lot of people, you know, gave him his props for, or people really was sleeping on the guy, you know. He was an Olympian, you know, so you know, he had a lot of awkward style, you know. He had power. The guys they fighting, they ain't got no power, so I ain't even worried about what they talking about.
Get him up out of here for the 6th round. That's not how we.
I don't even know if you would let somebody come in the ring look at you like that and not go back to him.
Oh,
hey,
no.
The way I seen that little kid walk out that ring when he was looking at him like, I dare you to walk over here. Even if I'm scared, I'm walking over there. Just to show you. Yeah. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, that ref just missed everything. It was just a horrible display of fouls that you were just like, what is going on here? But again, nothing against Shakur, but man, you gotta
keep that going, man. That's hey, Ram Talk, you having a good time though?
Just as a fan, what would be Shakur's value as a free agent? Like,
do what they give me, $2 million. That's where his value is at. My value should be on the opposite end, but hey, he got to.
Shakur Stevenson has officially defeated William Zepeda, and with that victory, many of the conversations that surrounded the fight are now being viewed in a completely new light. This matchup had been talked about for months, and the pressure wasn't just on Stevenson to win, it was on him to prove something. Critics had been questioning his fighting style, his willingness to engage, and whether he could handle a high-volume puncher like Zepeda. This was more than just another title defense. It was a test to see if Stevenson could live up to the expectations that come with being compared to legends like Floyd Mayweather and Pernell Whitaker. Before the fight, Oscar de la Hoya, who promoted Zepeda, made it clear he believed his fighter could pull off the upset. He pointed out that consistent pressure and punch output can break down even the best technical boxers, mentioning how Mayweather himself once struggled early against Jose Luis Castillo. Oscar wasn't just hyping the event. He genuinely thought Zepeda's relentless pace would force Stevenson out of his comfort zone and throw off his rhythm. But that prediction didn't come true. And that's worth noting because De La Hoya wasn't the only one who thought Zepeda's style could cause real problems. Even Stevenson's own trainer, Greg Hackett, spoke respectfully about Zepeda before the bout. He said Zepeda was durable, active, and a real challenge, acknowledging the threat without downplaying Stevenson's skill. That kind of honesty said a lot. It showed that Team Stevenson wasn't taking this fight lightly. Former world champion Tim Bradley was one of the louder voices backing Stevenson going in. He called the matchup a potential massacre if Shakur pressed the action and used his timing effectively. Bradley's point wasn't that Zepeda was a bad fighter. It was that Stevenson's skill level operated on a different tier, one Zepeda hadn't experienced yet. That idea fueled many pre-fight debates. Would Stevenson move forward more? Would he throw combinations and fight aggressively enough to silence critics who said he was too defensive or too cautious? Teofimo Lopez added another layer when he said, "This fight could become 50-50 if Stevenson doesn't let his hands go." It was a valid concern, especially since Zepeda is known for overwhelming opponents as the rounds go on. Stevenson had been criticized before for being too economical with his punches, and Teofimo's comment reflected what a lot of fans and fighters were already thinking. Talent alone wouldn't be enough this time. Shakur had to entertain too. Eddie Hearn didn't predict a winner, but he emphasized that Stevenson needed this fight to prove something about his star power. Hearn said Shakur should already be a superstar, and this was the kind of night where he could finally show why. Promoter Lou DiBella echoed that thought, saying this was a perfect chance for Stevenson to dominate and create a defining moment in his career. Everyone understood that this fight wasn't just another title defense. It was a turning point. Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi both discussed how Stevenson's ability to control distance and tempo could take the fight away from Zepeda. They explained how pressure fighters lose effectiveness when they can't find the target and are forced to reset. That's where they believe Stevenson's precision and ring IQ would make the difference. Even though their analysis wasn't about picking sides, it was clear who they saw as the more complete fighter. Online, many fans called this about a credibility check. Not about whether Stevenson was good. Nobody doubted his skill. But about whether he'd show more variety, more aggression, and a willingness to stay in range and trade shots. Articles on outlets like Boxing Scene noted that Stevenson's reputation was on the line just as much as his title. They wrote about how pressure was coming not only from Zepeda, but also from figures like Turki Alashik, who made it clear he expected a different kind of performance this time. Fans were growing tired of watching Stevenson dominate without much drama, and there was a quiet but steady push for him to turn up the intensity. This one doesn't erase every criticism, but it definitely changes the tone. It feels like Shakur Stevenson didn't just want to fight. He rewrote the narrative that's been following him for years. Zepeda wasn't some easy opponent. He came in undefeated, physically strong, and one of the most active punchers in the division. The fact that so many experts, from trainers, promoters, to analysts, thought this fight could expose Stevenson shows how real the challenge was. Now, after the result, you can already see the reevaluation happening. Tim Bradley's prediction looks spot on. Teofimo Lopez's warning about being too cautious now sounds like a hypothetical. Oscar de la Hoya's upset call, while bold, didn't pan out. Even critics are admitting that Stevenson stepped up when it mattered most. The pressure was real, and he didn't fold. He didn't hide behind a safe game plan or cruise to a dull win. Whatever the fight details, the story around it is what's being settled now, and it's falling squarely in Stevenson's favor. This was never just about belts or rankings. It was about perception. And with this victory, Shakur Stevenson may have done more to change how people talk about him than in any other fight of his career. The matchup with Zepeda gave everyone a reason to doubt, to wonder if he could adapt to a style he hadn't really faced before. Now we have the answer. The gap between Shakur Stevenson and the rest of the division is still very real. What did you think of the fight? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more boxing updates.